Welcome to On the Record with Big Nick, episode 24. We got 4 different topics we're going to talk about today. Topic number 1 is who would I want to pitch in Game 7 of the World Series, both currently and in the past. Second topic is, could the Alabama football team beat the Jets? Third topic, teams that have gone undefeated in the NFL. Fourth is the greatest individual records in all sports. Let's get this party started. Who would I want to pitch currently and in the past in Game 7 of the World Series? Currently, I'm going Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer is dynamite. There's a lot of great pitchers out there that you can choose from, but I know Scherzer's been there. So, I know that he can pitch in that game. That doesn't take anything away from guys that are great, but you got to be there to prove it to me that you can do it. Past, I'm going with Randy Johnson. Guy was absolutely lights out. Guy was disgusting. Lefty, throwing 100 miles an hour sidearm. Guy was one of the greatest pitchers of our generation, hands down. One of. I mean, you can argue Roger Clemens and Pedro, but Randy was nasty.
All right.
I'm taking Johnson any day of the week.
And why do you take him over other options? I mean, there's a lot of good.
There's a lot of great options.
Yeah.
I just think he, at being 6'11", or 6'10", however tall he was, him being that tall and being that dominant from this side and throwing that hard is just a totally different angle, especially being a lefty. Lefties don't have a shot in hell of hitting him. And then on a righty, it's going to be incredibly hard for you to pick up that ball from that left side because it's literally... It was between him and Pedro, but I had to go with Randy.
Could the Alabama football team beat the Jets?
Absolutely not.
No?
Now, we hear about this all the time, about the best college team versus the worst team in the NFL if they played with the best college football. No. You got to understand, the Jets suck. No question. But they still have grown men on that team. Those guys are still freshmen, sophomore, juniors. Some seniors, I guess. No shot they're beating them. They've almost beaten teams in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
They almost beat the Patriots. You going to tell me the Patriots would lose to Alabama? You going to tell me the Raiders would lose to Alabama? I mean, the Jets should have won against the Raiders last week. So you would theoretically be telling me that the Raiders would lose to Alabama if the Jets beat them.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think this is just there's been an argument that's been brought up a lot, especially the first time I heard it was with the Cavaliers Duke basketball team.
That's ridiculous.
Remember that?
I mean, that's like saying the best college baseball team plays like the fucking Twins or something, or some shitty team.
Yeah.
You know, Twins aren't that shit, but you get my point.
Yeah.
It's still just different because it's just two totally different games.
You think that's more of the...
Oh, it's two totally different games.
Okay.
You gonna tell me college football and the NFL are the same? They're not. You got grown men with families that are out there. They're 29, 27, 22. They're in the prime of their life. They're in the prime of their career. These guys they're big, strong guys, but they're still developing. They're still developing their football skills. They're still developing their size, their strength. A 22-year-old ain't going to be as strong as a 27, 28-year-old that's been in the NFL. It ain't going to fucking happen. Guys are way smarter up here than a 21, 22-year-old when you're 27, 28.
I feel like it has to do with experience, too.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Because I feel like most people base that off of skill. That's why
Absolutely.
That's how they're viewing it, but they don't realize, the experience that they have and also, the age. Too.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
For sure.
Word. I like that. All right. Third one, I was talking about this last night. So the only other team, well, let me ask you a question, see if you know the answer both.
Sure.
How many teams or what have gone undefeated in the NFL?
How many in the regular season?
No, to go undefeated, you have to win the Super Bowl.
There's only been one team that's done it.
Yeah.
The 1972 Dolphins.
And what other teams have gone close?
Extremely close. You have to really go there, Casey?
Besides the Patriots. The Colts and the Panthers. And
Really?
guess who was on the Panthers?
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 15-1. That's right.
Yeah. And the Colts, I'm pretty sure that was led by Peyton Manning, correct? Because we just had the Steelers that were just 10-0, and they just lost to the Washington football team. So I was just curious about what you think it takes to become an undefeated team. Obviously, you have to be the best team, but is that the only thing?
I don't even know if that's even the case. And everyone's going to think I'm a strictly biased person. The Patriots were the better team than the Giants. The Giants were better that day. But that's the only day that matters.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with, if you're 16-0, you're the best team in the NFL. I don't buy that. strength of schedule. You could have got a lot of lucky breaks. I'm not saying it's not impressive to go 16-0. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm not throwing shade at the Steelers or anything like that. That doesn't mean you're the best team, because I still would take Kansas City over Pittsburgh right now. And let's say Pittsburgh beat Washington this week.
Yeah.
Right? They'd be 11-0 and Kansas City's 10-1.
Mm.
So are you telling me that Pittsburgh's a better team than Kansas City? You can't do it. You can't do it based on record. You have to do it based on the team.
Mm.
Quarterback to quarterback, offense to offense, defense to defense, coaching to coaching.
So you can't go by record.
Can't go by record.
Interesting.
Look at it this way, right? Everyone thought the Buccaneers were just going to walk all over everybody, right?
Yeah.
7-5. Now they could still make the playoffs, and hell, they could still make the Super Bowl. Who the fuck knows? Still 7-5. Look at the Patriots, 6-6.
Yeah.
I think they're a better team than 6-6.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that they threw away, but it doesn't matter because you have to perform on that given day. That's all that matters.
No, I agree. And I think that, do you think a lot of the betting and those lines tie into what the record is? Yeah.
I mean, that gets into the whole conversation about things being rigged.
Yeah.
Of course, things are rigged. I'm not saying every game's rigged, but there's definitely things that strings are pulled and shit like that, and
Yeah. We've talked about this before, but why do you have specific examples of why you think that, or do you think it's just freak stuff?
I just think if there's enough money on the line for certain things, that games get persuaded.
Yeah.
Refs get buys, refs get little payoffs, they make calls to turn things around. Big play turns the game momentum around, but all of a sudden there's a flag on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, last topic, greatest individual records in sports. We got Barry Bonds, 762 home runs, Rickey Henderson, 1,406 stolen bases, Cal Ripken Jr., 2,632 consecutive games played, Brett Favre, 305 interceptions, Boston
He's got a lot of
Celtics,
interceptions.
8 consecutive championships, Joe DiMaggio, 56-game hitting streak, Will Chamberlain, 50.4 points per game in one season, Wayne Gretzky, 2,857 points. Bill Russell, 11 championships. Cy Young, 749 complete games. Johnny Unitas, 47 consecutive games with a touchdown pass.
Unitas, Johnny
Unitas.
Unitas. I mean, you mentioned a lot of impressive stats.
Yeah.
Especially the Brett Favre one, 305 interceptions. That's pretty impressive in a bad way. I'll break it down to the top two that I would choose from. Okay, I'm going to go with the Bill Russell at 11 championships, and I'm going to go with the Cal Ripken Jr. playing that many games.
Okay.
Because, in my opinion, neither record's ever going to be broken again. No one's winning more than 11 championships. No one's going to beat Cal Ripken Jr.'s record. No. People get hurt way too fast now. They can't even make it a season without getting something, or they need a day off because they play too much baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck is that bullshit, We all say Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? Football?
Yeah.
He's the greatest of all time. Somebody could come after him.
You think someone could beat 6 rings?
Mahomes? Absolutely.
Really?
I'm going to tell you something on the record right now. And I love Brady for what he's done for the Patriots. I currently hate his guts right now, but I do love him for what he did for the Patriots.
I think Mahomes.
I'm going to say this on the record in 2020. Patrick Mahomes will have at least 7 rings.
Wow. No way.
Absolutely. 1,000%. He will have at least 7 rings. Yeah, bearing injury.
No.
Well, I'm just saying, if he stays healthy, absolutely.
I just don't think there's going to be anyone like Brady for so many different reasons.
Well, Mahomes is not leaving Kansas City ever, number one.
Okay.
He will play on that team until he retires, number one. Number
that's
two,
another reason.
he's got at least, Mahomes is only 25 years old, and he's well on his way to a second ring this year, and that team is only going to get better. They locked up Kelsey, they locked up Hill, they got all their weapons there. Those guys ain't going nowhere.
They don't have Bill Belichick as the coach.
It doesn't matter. What do you think? You only need Bill Belichick to coach a team?
I just think
Andy Reid ain't no slouch either, buddy.
I just think that so many things fell into place for him to get those 6 rings.
I'm just telling you right now. I'm not going to disagree at that point, but I'm also going to tell you this. When you have a quarterback like Mahomes with the supporting cast that he has, let's look at it this way.
It doesn't matter about the people you got on the team.
Well, of course it does, because if Brady had better cast, I could argue that he'd win 9 or 10 rings. If he had Randy Moss 4 years earlier than he got him, he would have had at least 2 more rings.
He also had like random ass like wide receivers that came out of the woodworks, like the crossing.
But Mahomes doesn't have random ass wide receivers because they actually have good wide receivers. Well, that's not Brady's fault. Belichick decided to get him.
You could say that about a lot of other quarterbacks too that had a lot of good weapons too, but they still.
But I'm telling you that I'm putting something on the record saying that I think Mahomes will win more championships than Tom Brady.
But do you have a better reason just because of the weapons he has? Obviously, he's a really good quarterback. But I mean,
what other things do I? He's got.
You need an unbelievable coach.
Yes and no. I mean, he's got Andy Reid. If you're going to tell me Andy Reid's a suck coach, like, come on. He's one of the better coaches in the NFL. And the other thing too is Mahomes is Mahomes. Like, I'm not trying to say it like this, and I'm not saying coaching doesn't have any effect to this.
Yeah. But
Mahomes is nasty. Like, it doesn't matter who his fucking coach would be. He's fucking nasty. Like, fucking Adam Gase could be there. He'd still fucking be slinging the ball. Because, no offense, if Mahomes didn't do what he wanted to do on that team, then Gase would be gone anyway. So it wouldn't matter. You're still all in love with Tom Brady, and the motherfucker doesn't even play here anymore.
6 rings. What he did, it was unbelievable.
Did I not say it wasn't? I'm telling you that is a record that can, I didn't say it would, it can be broken. Playing 2,136 games in a row for Cal Ripken?
It was 26-32.
26-32. That's a record that will never get touched. Never. Ever. No shot someone's playing that many games again. I'll put that on the record too. Okay. No way someone plays that many games again. Too many guys, and even if they're not hurt, too many guys want a day off here and a day off there because they're a bunch of fucking pansies. I'm telling you that there's certain records that will be broken and there's certain records that won't.
All right.
And that's a record for Mr. Brady that could get broken. Absolutely.
All right.
I'm just saying. He's on the right track. He's only 25.
He has 1.
He has 1, but he was overtime away from going to another with oh, by the way, your boy Tom Brady beating him. Mm-hmm. And only Tom Brady could have beat him that season. I still think if Tom didn't beat him in that season, they would have won the Super Bowl that year. And I still think they're going to the Super Bowl this year, and I have them winning again. I have them repeating. They're fucking nasty.
They are.
And there's something about January that Mahomes just turns it up a little bit more.
All right, we'll revisit this in about
15 years?
15 years. All
right. I may or may not be here in 15 years as far as it right here. Maybe I'll catch up and see you later.
What? Where are you going to be?
I don't know. You never know where life throws you.
San Diego?
Could be there.
Hollywood?
Could be in fucking Thailand. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I ain't going to fucking Thailand. I could be fucking selling T-shirts for What's Going On Buddy for fucking $19.99. Selling all those.
$19.99. That's cheap. You gotta go $28.99.
For the people.
That's wow. Look at you.
Don't fucking rip people off, man.
For the
people. What's going on, buddy? I think we'd sell a shit ton of those fucking shirts, by the way.
I agree.
A shit ton.
I agree.
And it will be in the works at some point. Big Nick will put it in the works at some point.
That's all we got.
That's all we got?
Yeah.
All right.
That was a good episode.
Well, that was a good episode. So there you have it for this episode of On the Record. We hope you enjoyed the different questions. I do like the multiple question things like that. I do like that.
It's like the old school On the Record.
Yeah, well, I kind of like that. Mix it in a little bit.
We'll bring it back.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you like the show. Like and subscribe. Put in a comment anything that you want us to talk about on the record, and we'll put it. We'll get to it. That's a wrap.
Boom.